From Father Ivano, from this 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, from these spiritual seeds. I will proclaim the Gospel of this Sunday from Mark, and it's a very important word because it speaks about our history. I have a history, I have parents, I come from a certain place in Italy, and you have a history, and your husband has a history, and your children have a history. And in this history, this Gospel wants to say something. From the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus went to his hometown, and his disciples accompanied him. With the coming of the Sabbath, he began teaching in the synagogue, and most of them were astonished when they heard him. They said, "Where did the man get all this? What is this wisdom that has been granted him, and these miracles that are worked through him? This is the carpenter, surely, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph and Jude and Simon. His sisters too, are they not here with us?" And they would not accept him. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is only despised in his own country, among his own relations and his own house." And he could work no miracle there, though he cured a few sick people by laying his hands on them. He was amazed at the lack of faith. The Gospel of the Lord. Why is this Gospel so important for us? What is happening is this. Jesus, says the Gospel, enters his hometown. Literally, in Greek, it says Jesus entered his paternal town, the town of his father, literally in Greek. That is, Jesus enters his history, Nazareth, that's where he comes from, and he goes to the synagogue where he was brought up, where he went as a child many, many times, where he learned to sing, to listen, to pray, to be in communion with other people. And here he begins to teach. And what he's carrying is something new, something beautiful, something that is desirable. He's carrying basically his father. He enters his paternal home carrying a new father, a new reality. And in front of this, these people put a big barrier. And they say, "No." They say, "You are too poor. You don't have a certificate. You don't have a proof that you are a good rabbi." They put in front of him his own history. "You are the son of Mary." Normally, in a Jewish context, the son is always known as the son of his father. Remember, John the Baptist, the son of Zechariah. Peter, Simon, the son of Jonah. Never the son of a woman. And here they are saying, we know about your history. You have a dodgy past. And your brothers, your sisters, they are so normal. They are so like us. And you have the hands of a carpenter. Your hands are rough. Your hands are, and these hands, miracles, healings. Can these hands, the hands of a carpenter, raise the dead, cure the sick, open the eyes of the blind, stop the bleeding of people? What is happening here? Why so important for us? Is because we can have the same sins in front of our own history. That is, our history, most of us, we have a history that is pretty, not kind of pure. Many of us, we don't have a very high standard certificates of good conduct, of proper life. Many of us, we carry quite a difficult history. History of poverty, that is weaknesses, fragilities, mental fragilities, physical fragilities. We can carry many weaknesses, many poverty, many brokenness. And in front of that, we can say to Christ, you can't change this. Even you can't bring anything new in this history. That is, we can sin against grace. What Jesus was bringing in the synagogue of Nazareth was grace. The possibility for God to take our history, as how God did with him in his history, and bring it to a new dimension. That is, what Christ wants to bring us is this faith in his grace. That even when you look at your husband and you see that he's a carpenter, that is who he is, that is the man he is, that is the sinner that he is. We can sin, you can sin against your husband by sinning against the possibility of the work of grace in his life. And put your husband into a box and say, because of this, because of that, and because of this, things cannot change. And you can do the same with your own history. And you can look at your own history, and you can look at your parents, the son of Mary. You can look at how violent was your father, how disturbed was your mother, how sinful were your brothers and sisters, how difficult the relationship, how violent you are. And you can tick all these boxes and say, my life is stuck. Things cannot change. And we cannot accept grace, the good news. Christianity is incredible, because in Christianity there is one only driving force, one only movement, that is grace. And in that town, Nazareth, knew very well about grace, because Mary in that town was called full of grace. Let us be open. When you look at your own history, when the brokenness of your own history, or the history of your wife, of your children, come to the surface, don't get scandalized. Don't ask for certificates. Don't do an health check. Simply ask from the Virgin Mary, from the Church, the gift of trusting in grace. The knowing that God can take the same rubbish, the same brokenness, the same history, and make it a history of salvation, a history of grace. See you next Sunday.